Peace and love, man. You know what it is. Vaughn Simmons, man. You know what I'm here to do. Teach and reveal, TNR, man. Listen, this Cam really didn't understand it. He definitely tried to help. He definitely offered some love. But, it's a conversation that got to be had. It's information that got to be shared.
But I'm always curious to ask this question about actors. When you tap into an emotion, have you acknowledged that emotion as real or fake?
It's always real. I'm always looking to tell the truth. Like, how close can I get to the truth? You know what I mean? That's like every role I take, every opportunity I get, I'm just trying to tell the truth. And I'm not really acting no more when I'm on screen. I'm telling the truth. And I feel like in my position too, it can, I don't know, man. I get asked a lot about being put in a box. Like, you feel like you're gonna get put in a box? And for me, I feel like I play different. I feel like I play different characters. But for some reason, I feel like everybody sees me as one thing.
Boom. Right? So now that's it. And he's telling you how serious he takes his craft, right? How important it is to him, how much of an artist he is, right? But at the end of the day, that box, right? That's an issue. Like, damn, why they keep putting me in the box? Why they see? And that's the thing. Imagery, what we are seen as, right? And how the people in positions of power control imagery and control what we see because they understand the connection that has between what we can become or what we feel like we can become, right? Even deeper than that, from a scientific standpoint, right, we got to understand how our behavior and our life ultimately, right, depicts or stems from or correlates to our subconscious thoughts and our subconscious mind, right? So certain things are buried in your subconscious. Certain things that you see every day, like how things get buried in your subconscious, is through imagery. It communicates a different way than your regular conscious brain, whether you be reading something or whether you hear something, right? That's how you may retain some information in your conscious brain, but subconsciously we think differently, right? And there's certain people that know that, right? We war not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, spiritual wickedness in high places, right? So there's some wickedness in some high places with some, you know what I'm saying, with some less than honorable, less than righteous, right? Ideologies that understand the power of imagery, right? So that's what we up against. So you got somebody like Woody who's taking his craft seriously and putting his time and energy into playing a role, but yet and still we have a role that's depicting a black man as a criminal, like often many other roles do. So now the black man outside of the role still gets associated with as a criminal, right? So because nobody's looking at Woody like, oh, he's a hard worker. I mean, a lot of people are, but unfortunately, and we can't even say it's the other man, because we're gonna do it the most. We're gonna do it, I believe, in a different spirit. Yeah, would he go through any hood in America right now? 90% of people gonna call him Kane. Man. They're gonna refer to him as Kane. Y'all gonna not just call him Kane. Y'all gonna actually talk to him like he's a drug dealer, street dude. Y'all really gonna actually respect, like, you know what I mean? Y'all gonna carry him the way you carry the dude from your neighborhood that probably shoot people up. You know what I'm saying? We both putting people in the box, but I understand that. Listen, it's not our doing. Sometimes society has us conditioned to just think this way, and that's the point, and that's the frustration that he's dealing with. But let's see how it gets him to that point of walking out.
And I don't know how to feel about it. Because I mean, even when my first acting class I took in LA, they had this exercise where it's the first day of class, and you have all these actors in there. And then she sit a chair in the front of the room, boom. And she said, all right, you come here. Sit right here. This is me. I'm sitting in the chair, back towards the whole crowd. All right, y'all. I want y'all to tell.
Cam is all right. I'm just gonna leave Cam alone with the shorts and the boots, and I'm gonna leave that alone. All right, my bad. Let's just keep going.
This guy, what y'all see him as. So I'm sitting in the chair. Everybody's saying, bad boy, the thug, the killer. I'm hearing this stuff. They don't know me. You know, I'm hearing this stuff. And she's like, all right, stop. She's like, all right, turn around, introduce yourself. So I turn around, I'm like,
Which one of y'all niggas try me?
yeah. I'm like, Woody, nice to meet y'all. Everybody's laughing. Turn back around. All right, what y'all see him as? Oh, he's the nice guy. He's the sweet guy. He's the da 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 da. But
See what I'm saying? So interesting. I didn't need that story or that experience to that experiment to know how I'm perceived in white America, right? Unfortunately, I found that out in different types of situations. But see, this is this is this is a pure example of how we are looked at as society. Now, they didn't know him from a can of paint. Why would they just automatically say he's the thug, the killer, the bad guy? What does he? And I'm sure he wasn't up in that place with a red rag hanging out and bees and a gun sign and a gun with a chain with a gun on it. I'm sure he didn't look like, you know what I mean? Because obviously once he opened his mouth, he said they was like, oh, okay, I mean, good guy in it, but what is it? That's what we kind of got to understand, right? And it's not just America. As a black person, we have to understand the origins of racism, right? The origins of racism in the world comes from manipulation of our gospel, right? Us being because if you look from a historical standpoint, right, biologically, if you look scientifically, we're not even talking about spiritually, then we understand that the first human beings to grace this planet were people of color, right? That's just obvious. So knowing that, and knowing that we have scriptures in the Bible, obviously, right? Come on now. Those people from that had that covenant with the Most High and that relationship who gave us these scriptures were people of color, right? So when things don't fit that you want, you have to alter it so it fits you, right? If you have a pair of pants that's too big, you have to alter it. You might have to cut them, you might have to get it, but whatever. You're gonna have to make alterations to things to make them fit you properly, right? So when we talk about this Bible, when we talk about this history, we understand that it has to be altered so that other people can feel like they're blessed by the Most High to be the leader of other generations, and that only through them that civilization can be civilized and things like that, right? So I get it. So that's what we have to. That's what we war. That's why we war not against flesh and blood, right? Against principalities, spiritual wickedness in high places. This is what the Bible tells us. So specifically with the racist thing, right? We have Noah and his three sons, right? Ham, Shem, Japheth, right? So now, knowing that, you know the story of Noah, if you don't, right? God was so mad with the world and the wicked ways of man that he flooded the whole planet, right? And he was pleased with Noah and his ways, so he left Noah, his three sons, to repopulate the earth after the flood, right? Hopefully that men would be more righteous, right? So during this time, obviously, one of Noah's sons, we always have rules, right? We have rules, right? Morality rules, sexual morality rules that I guess people want to hold on to when it's convenient for them, right? But neither here nor there. So Noah, one of those rules is, right, another man is not supposed to look at another man or uncover another man's nakedness, right? That's not biblical. We're not supposed to do that, right? So being that Noah's son accidentally uncovered his son, his dad, which was Noah, naked, right? Noah got drunk, passed out naked, right? Boom. So his son seen that. So they saying his son was cursed with leprosy of the skin, dark skin, right? So, automatically that was altered, right? To dark skin is a curse, and all dark skinned people was cursed because of Noah's son, him uncovering Noah's nakedness, right, and drunken nakedness. So now we have right something that, so now they can say, oh, the black skin was a curse. So now it's not, doesn't mean you're blessed. So now it's everybody else on the outside. So now that makes it, that gives more of a room for you to say you're the blessed ones and we're the cursed ones, right? It makes no sense. But since a lot of people, a lot of knowledge have derived from, right, our ancestors and that coveted relationship with the Most High, right? That coveted relationship with the Most High. We got the scriptures and we got things that laid the foundations to life as we know it, right? Then God, we trust, the days of the week, the calendars, the all of this, right? Animal name, all of this, right? So this is what these are the situations that we deal with as Black people in America, right? The residual effects of these racist ideologies and misguided and stolen scriptures, right? So, but unless you're dealing with wisdom, unless you know, uh, making yourself knowledgeable of the scriptures and things like that, and praying daily, and it's going to be hard for you to understand these things, and you could react in a different way, right? So he's experiencing these things along his journey.
But that moment made me realize people judge you before you even talk, before you even say something. Strategic of what I pick, because I don't want everybody to keep perceiving me as this bad person, because I'm
That's so emotional. That's so, I feel for him right there, because that's like, you work so hard, right, to get to a point. You make so much sacrifices, right, to get to a point. You dedicate yourself, and what you receive at the end of the day, nah. What's up, Kane? No. Don't refer to him as Kane. That's disrespectful to Woody, right? Because that's given, right? Woody gave the power to Kane. Not Kane don't give the power to Woody. So he put himself in a position where Woody gave the power to Kane. And we took it and said, no, that's not the case. That's debilitating, man. Imagine working so hard for something, right? And it just not being respected. So let's just see that unfold one more time, man. Let's just see that one. Let's see that one.
But now moving forward in my career, it's like I want to be very strategic of what I pick, because I don't want everybody to keep perceiving me as this bad person, because
It's okay, bro.
To go, bro. It's one of them things, man. No matter how hard you work, no matter how hard you try, you're still a ninja. Right? You're still a ninja. Sad thing that my brother's realizing right now. You realizing all this time I spent out, I'm doing this, and yeah, you're a famous thug, man. At this point, bro, you're no different than somebody who really did the stuff that the guy in the show did, man. That's your life, is to the ignorant people, right? You're not a professional artist, intelligent, strategic. No, you're not that to them. And it's ignorant, it's sad, it's stupid, it's dumb on the parts of those people that refer to as that, but it's evil. It's something different on the parts of the people that control a narrative, right? Who gonna keep putting you in that box, right? Who doesn't have any space for you to do anything else outside of that box, right? Because that's gonna go against the mission. And the mission is to not incite many artists from our culture. They're not incite people to do great things, to make sacrifices. Like, nah, to not incite you to pick up the trajectory to become a blessed holy people next to God. Because where does everybody else fit into that? Even though they fit into it perfectly, because God wants us all to obey, right? And we're not necessarily to be better than any other nation, but we're supposed to be the chosen nation to follow God, and the other nation is supposed to be held through us. So it's not a, it's a big brother little brother thing. It's no favorite child. I mean, it's big brother little brother. It's different children. You know what I'm saying? It's different things. So, but once that child wants to sabotage the legacy for selfish reasons, then it does get a little bit wacky. But listen, man, that's just a quick thing, man. He came back, and basically explained what we understood. But he doesn't really realize the powers that be in the spiritual aspect of it, right? This is just the human aspect of it that he's reacting to. Like, damn, I'm trying to break in this box. Like, damn, I'm just this ninja. I'm just this, But it comes
My bad.
to a
You
little
good?
point too, is like,
I know.
if you have those expectations as a black man, it's kind of wrong for you too, because that's why the Bible says, "Be in the world, but not of the world." So when you looking for, right, certain recognition, you got to understand that you out of pocket, right, and you're not really honoring the God in you, right? Because you can't look for a place at every table, man. Certain things we can't look for, man. So listen, man, this ain't a thing I want to get too long into. We already over time for the length of video I want to make, man. So we're gonna touch back on this, because this is a thing. There's so much things to expound upon, point out, and understand and take from this, right? So man, we're gonna do this part one, bro. We're going this right here, and then we're gonna and then we pick it up part two, man. All right. To be continued.